this group of work represents the stars of the last collection that we made in Papua New Guinea last fall when we were visiting the artist there, as we regularly do. And all of the work is wonderful and really high standard, but there are these particular pieces here, the group of 7 or 8 of them, are really first class. Maybe I should hold that. That might be easier. If we start here with the house post, this is a structural piece when it's used traditionally, and if you can see, if the camera can show the saddle at the top, the cross beam in the house goes across that, and there'd be probably 30 of these in a big ceremonial house, and they're not so often seen these days on the river, unfortunately, but there are villages that have them, and that's where the culture is strongest. And Palembe and Korogo and Tambanam have a very strong cultural base still. The name of this artist is Lucas Tangen, and he's renowned for major and small sculpture. Years ago, he was taken by the Papua New Guinean government down to Port Moresby to create house posts for the police station down there. So he's been working for a long time, but he's still a relatively young man. And if you can have a round pole that's carved on 4 sides, well, this is it. It's quite extraordinary. And the story I have yet to get from Lucas, it was all rather rushed while we were there, but it represents various clan figures and clan animals. Now, he carves very traditionally, but he also carves in a modern way, and this piece in the front here is actually Adam and Eve, and Adam and Eve, of course, from the Bible story, and doubling as the forbidden fruit is a lime gourd, a gourd that actually contains powdered seashells, used for when betel nut is chewed, and here's the serpent creeping up the shoulder of Adam. And it's fascinating to me to see the change from the very traditional to this very contemporary work where you see the real musculature of real people. Then on this side over here, there are 2 carvings. Again, this appears to be very traditional, but it actually isn't. It's Joseph Kandimbu now travels a lot in Papua New Guinea, whereas he used to never leave the Sepik, and so he sees things, he sees people in other contexts, and he carves what he sees. So this man he saw at a big Sing Sing ceremonial dance in the highlands. These events draw people from all over Papua New Guinea, and this is the man from Tari. That's the region that he comes from. He's wearing his traditional skirt and feathers in his hair and carrying a spear. And he's just so powerful, I think. It's an extraordinary piece of art. And this one is a real commander, police commander. His name was Kabilo, and he was much feared, actually, at the time when he was in charge. And he was particularly known for his large nose. And Joseph and his family and friends were very thrilled about this carving, and they thought it was really a lot of fun to have created it. And, you know, it's so faithfully rendered with the P&G constabulary badges and the little wooden boots and his gun. And then behind that, people who are familiar with what we do at Alcheringa will remember the visit of Teddy Balangu, who was here as an artist in residence and the Andrew Scholar at the Museum of Anthropology in 2006. And while he was here, he also starred in a documentary film, and it was called Killer Whale and Crocodile. So ever since, he has generally added a killer whale somewhere in his carvings. So this piece would be a traditional piece if it was hollowed on the bottom, and if it had different imagery, it would be a traditional piece that would sit way on the top of the roof of the house tamboran. But this, we call them a finial derivation because it's derived from that traditional piece, but it is really quite contemporary. And it is an eagle on the top. And notice the incredibly beautiful carved wings of the bird. And all of this, all Sepik carving is always from one piece of wood. They never join things, which, fills me with wonder. And this house post, when I saw Teddy carving his at the Museum of Anthropology, nothing is drawn. He just picks up his adze and just goes for it. And it's really quite amazing. Then the other piece over here is by Michael Timbin. On the Sepik River, you have great carving families in the same way that we do here on the northwest coast. And he is from one of those. And he's one of the younger members of the family, and particularly renowned for the very complex, convoluted pieces that he creates. And that would be a snake and an eel that's wrapped around that figure. And there's various stories that relate to similar figures that he's done before. Sometimes there's children in them, and that may be a child on the top there. Everyone who sees that carving thinks it's a grouse on the top, but it won't be that. But I can't tell you exactly what bird it is.